Okay, so before we get started, I would like to give you guys a bit of a theme of what we will do so that you guys know what we are going to do. So we'll talk about three main things. We'll talk about your journey from an engineer to a leader. We'll talk about, say, AI in the semiconductor world. We'll break it up into two parts. What AI products you guys build and how you use AI in your products. Two different themes. And I guess the third part is obvious, the role of Maven in your careers. We will also take questions. So you guys are our fourth panelist. I hope you all represent the industry as the fourth panel. So we will have questions, time for you guys as well. Okay, so then starting with the journey and the leadership. So probably, Santosh, you are the best person to start with because you are the first member, part of the first batch at Maven. So my question is somewhat like this. So when you moved, say, from an engineer role to a leadership role, what was the hardest mind shift that you have to go through from being an individual contributor, right, where you're good at doing things yourself, to kind of going into lead a team, a bunch of people coming with different background, different experience, different diversity? What was it and how did you overcome it?
Sure. Check. Yeah. So I'm basically a DV engineer. So for me, as an individual contributor, it's all about quality, right? You don't want any bugs to escape. So the focus has always been on quality. You have to get it 100% right. Otherwise, it's going to cost a lot, right? So that's your typical mindset as an individual contributor. Once you try to get into kind of a leadership roles or some kind of mentorship, right? Now, it took a bit of time for me to realize, but you no longer are trying to look at being, 100% perfect each and every time. Because now, it's more like someone you heard in the talks before, right? Goal-oriented. Now, it's all about goals, right? You have to optimize. You have a certain way of thinking. Your team has every member in every individual in your team has a different way of thinking. So you need to allow to cut corners, right? But as ensure the goal is met. So the mindset is more like, okay, how much, you can adjust, but still not compromise on the goal. And still, when it comes to DV, you still, are not compromising on the quality, right? You try to make up for, if something's not there, you try to jump in and make up for it. And it's the sum of all parts should get to the quality. Individually, it need not be perfect. So that was the biggest mind.
So what I really took from there was cut corners. Cutting corners is okay.
I mean, cutting corners individually, but not as a team, right? So
right.
It's a different mindset because you need to, you're responsible for the team and not for yourself alone. So.
Right. I'd like to build upon that part. Okay, so maybe Achut, to you, the question is like, say, these leadership decisions, okay, where you have to balance between the quality and you said the schedule and I guess the innovation and the risk, right? How would you approach it?
Yeah. So maybe I have a history also. So back in a day when I was an individual contributor, I used to own multiple blogs, and when I used to take care of from the test plan to the post silicon validation. And when I make the plan, everything is about my own contribution and my own ability to do. So when I became a lead and when I was doing the same thing, owning the block and making the plans, it's like I missed the part, like looking down, like how my teammates will perform. So that became like I learned that in a hard way, that I have to take risk and I have to schedule it in a way that it has to inclusive of all my teammates, their ability, their potential into the part of the plan. So that is the thing we have to take.
Just like to add on to it, right? Just give an example. See, as an individual contributor, I would like to own completely end to end, right? I want to do the test plan. I want to execute. I want to write the scripts. I want to close coverage. I want to do everything perfect, right? Even if I'm writing scripts, I want to, learn new things, try to really optimize scripts. I want to have like small code, readable code, Now in a team, right? One person may be inclined towards scripting. One person may be inclined towards, he may be very good in test planning, right? So now, if as a team, if you have to deliver something, then that's what when I meant cutting corners. Right? You don't ask the guy who's very good at test plan, go and say you have to write excellent scripting code. Right? It doesn't work. So that's the mindset change that was trying to refer to.
So Harsha, maybe just on that, right? So what kind of leadership qualities, I would say, what do you think? I would say is more critical from this AI-driven or AI-powered semiconductor designs. What do you think? Because you represent a different segment from the rest of us, honestly speaking, because you are from the memory side, as in the layout side. We three are from the DV side, from the front-end side. So I'm just curious, what do you think? What does it mean for you?
I think the most toughest job will be like layout engineers and PD engineers who will be doing. So you guys have to like analyze and want to put on something, but we have to work on, then only it will be implemented. So when it is coming to like leadership and all, so we have to segregate the people into three kinds. So one is like smart people, lazy people, and laziest people. We have to give the toughest jobs to the laziest people. Then only we'll get like more quality will come from that, and the task will be done in very easiest way. So that is how usually I'll judge it. And then if it is coming to like AI and all, so even though if it is there is even AI is implementing in layouts or not, there will be like DRC work, LVS work, everything will be on our head. We have to work on that.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I was supposed to go to the next topic, but I want to come to you actually.
I have
you
one
have something.
small
Okay.
thing I want to ask Harsha. So Harsha, I would like to know what kind of jobs you used to get, whether easiest job or hardest job. I want to know.
Yeah, that's interesting. What type of a job did you get?
Earlier I used to get the toughest jobs. Then
Now also toughest jobs only.
Then gradually they came to know like, okay, if you give like some toughest job or something, he is going to give it to some other sub-juniors. So they started making me as a lead and handle you can handle your own macro or own tile.
Just a fun question, okay? But we'll be in the interest of time. Just one last question before we move next. Say you have the laziest person in the team. You have been like workation guy. I know you travel a lot, workation guy, right? You travel somewhere and you work remotely. What your laziest person on your team happens to be the workation guy? What would you do?
Sorry, can you repeat?
If the laziest person on the team, like he said, happens to also do a workation, how would you deal with that as a lead?
Yeah, it is very interesting. So what I preferably do is give him complete ownership and make him responsible to answer to the management directly. He will feel the pressure what we are feeling.
I think he should switch from the technical ladder to the management ladder is what I'm feeling right now. But okay, let's jump to the AI part, which is like the theme from morning. So, but before I go to you guys, I want to come to the audience here. How many of you, by the show of hands, have used, or let's say, how many of you are already working on AI products? By the show of hands. Okay, sorry, it's the glare is there. Okay, how many of you, by the show of hands, are actually using AI to develop these silicons? Those silicons may not be AI silicons, but to develop silicons, like kind of an AI solutions. Anyone? Okay, so that means the people who developing the products for AI are not using AI for the development. That's a strange observation I have.
In a way, that is true, because if you're working on cutting edge, you're trying to innovate something new which doesn't exist, right? So, and usually, when you're thinking of generative AI and all, right, there's a lot of training that has gone behind in those models, right? So it takes some amount of time to get there. So
okay, so then I'm changing my question right now because this was not supposed to be you, but because you picked that up. The semiconductor costs are soaring, okay, because we saw as we go down the node, we are actually expensive. They fail a lot more. The first silicon pass is going down. We have seen it in the Harry Foster's report just I guess earlier this year as well. But could AI be the breakthrough? Or I'm saying is, could AI be that promised prince? Could AI be something that will actually be the problem to the solution to the problem? Like AI is a problem because we have to develop complex silicons. Could AI be the solution also to such a problem? What's your take on this?
See, think of AI like this, right? So you're riding a bicycle. So what is the most important thing when you want to ride a bicycle? You need to know how to balance, right? Think of AI as you have a pulsar bike or some, high-speed bike. The thing is, you still need to know how to balance, but you can reach your destination way faster, right? So it's more like it enhances your productivity. So it definitely brings the cost of the program down. You can cut down on schedules. But quality is one thing you cannot compromise on. So if you want to manufacture, let's say, the latest technology, the base mass cost millions of dollars, right? So you better have a tool or technology, AI technology, which is well proven, right? And let's say you go to Synopsys or Cadence and you say, I want to buy a PCIe IP. The first question you will ask is, okay, is Gen 7 seen silicon or Gen 6 seen silicon, right? Then you feel more confident, okay. Same thing with AI, right? Correct. So it takes time to evolve. So generally, these tools will be tried on, projects which have less financial impact on the business, right? It has to prove its way, and eventually it will get to a point, but that's where you have to also keep learning and be up to date. So the first thing it will try to optimize is schedule. Quality, I think, will come next, is how I see it.
But I'll probably move away a little bit to Shiva sir here, okay? You are the disruptor, not the destructor. That is the other Shiva. So you have seen OVM, you have seen VMM, you have seen UVM. Do we need an AI VM? Sorry, if you could give a mic to him, to Shiva, if possible. Or I could hand over one of the mics to you. Sorry, that was out of the syllabus question.
It's a tough question. I need to recollect all the concepts, but I can answer differently. UVM is the basic framework, right? It's very similar to RISC-V ISA. I was talking about Open ISA, so we need something like IEEE standard methodology that is there. But whether AI will be used to automate with respect to UVM sequences, I'm not sure, but AI will be used everywhere. For example, what I can say is, you want to do RTL linting. As of now, you might go with tools like Spyglass. And when you do linting, actually, you get all kinds of warning messages. You might want to look at like whether there is any combinational loop or unwanted latches. That's the typical thing you would be looking at, right? But with AI, you can actually define the rules and then it can even clean up. You don't really need to go through warning messages. Do you really need to consider? Kind of automation will happen, right? So that kind of automation is critical. Today, whether that's happening in the field, probably you might want to throw light. And on top of it, what I can say as a verification engineer, let's say you create pretty standard UVCs. We are talking about UVM, right? And you have good data set in terms of VIPs, verification IPs, for various things like in terms of agents, in terms of UVCs. And you are a good verification engineer. You have been following coding guidelines. UVM also offers like how you can follow coding guidelines to improve the performance, right? UVM performance. Then you can easily train agents on the existing VIPs so that you are ready with the agent, and then you can even provide to the customer also. So those agents would be able to generate source code perfectly, well optimized performance. For example, you have been training agents on a particular protocol, DDR, or it could be anything. You might want to sell those agents also. Hey, on top of buying my verification IP, probably you can use my agents to optimize your source code, or you can generate even the updated version also. Every time when the protocol is evolving, you would be able to come up, right? So I can think about all these kinds of automation. That's how it's going to be. Yeah.
Yep. Thanks. Thanks so much. I'll move back to the stage, okay? Let's address the elephant in the room. And probably, I think I'll go with Harsha for this question. The elephant in the room is AI capable of replacing the junior engineers? And maybe leads tomorrow? What's your take on this? Is AI capable of replacing the junior engineers? Because we heard people saying, as in the other leaders saying, it can do the grunt job. I don't mean junior engineers to do the grunt job. I'm saying is they are typically given at the first day some trivial task, and then we scale up the complexity up. That's how we eventually get to a ownership. But are we talking about replacing?
As per my experience, yes. So the reason behind that is earlier we used to do like custom layouts. So, and we used to do like PPA for each and every layout. Now, in recent couple of years, if I am seeing like in 2-3 years, there is like developed tools which will generate 50 layouts of inverter, 50 layouts of buffer, 50 layouts of latches, whatever you call. Then over that, we used to do like PPA on each layout, whichever the best will pick that. So earlier, this will be on every individual to do it. Now it came to like a tool to dump like 50 layouts by using like same methodology. So definitely it's going to be a breaking for the engineers, but AI is, there is a huge impact on every individual. Yeah.
Right. So taking that question forward to you, Achut, is we heard human in the loop, but I think it's not just human in the loop. It's an expert in human in the loop. So what's your take on that? Meaning the AI agents, like we were in the ML world, then we moved to generative AI world. Now we are in agentic AI world. So there's a transition over the last few years. And now we have agentic AI generating the code. They have a lot of reasoning to do and they're generating the code, but still we are saying someone will actually sign off that. We can't simply take the code and put it in the actual silicon, right? So we always keep hearing human in the loop. And I'm saying it is not human, it's the expert human. What's your take on that?
We need to understand, to answer this, we need to understand what exactly AI. So to understand, why I'm telling that, because AI is giving us something to validate or to sign off. We need to know that how good the result is. So I will take 15 seconds to explain my understanding of AI. So AI is something, it's artificial intelligence. First, let's break. Let me tell what is intelligence. Information which is known to people without even experiencing that. Meaning, what I'm trying to say is whatever AI model we have now, it is not fully trained. So the artificial intelligence is not fully prepared to give us the answer. So for example...
do you mean like it is not ready today, but will be ready tomorrow?
It will be ready tomorrow, okay. But if we properly train them. For example, if someone
you're stressing on training the models better, like focus more on the training today than on the output.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Santosh, maybe just coming back to you, right? We heard just earlier in the day, there is a new program, Matrix, and Maven Silicon is now partnering with PS University, kind of creating that executive MTech. Executive MTech is like not like a usual one. Now you're talking about seasoned professionals or like someone who's new into the career and just taking up that. In your opinion, how important is this continuous education program such as these, and especially for people or for engineers who are aspiring to be the new leaders? What's your take on such programs?
It's actually very important to stay connected to the community because in your professional work, you may not get professional work is mostly dictated by businesses, right? What are the business needs? If the business requires you to write a script, you need to write script because that's what's going to give you money to run your family. So, but then to keep updated with the industry and trend, you need to have other options, right? And that's where places like Maven play an excellent role, right? Because you have a very huge community, 5,000 plus alumni. You don't get such kind of community. And request to all alumni is to, come forward and volunteer, right? get in touch, see what programs are there. If you want to upskill, there are RISC-V courses. There is now courses like PES, right? And if you want to do some hobby projects, you want to give some tech talks, or you want to be involved in something, reach out, right? Only by reaching, you can form a group of 4 or 5 people. You don't need to wait for Maven to reach out to you, right? You can form a 4 or 5 people. You can approach Maven, and they'll be very happy to oblige, right? Build your community. Try to, exchange ideas. And I think this exactly falls in line with that. You always need to stay updated. When I started with Maven, it was like I had to choose whether I have to go x86 route or ARM route. It was processors, right? ARM was coming up. How should I focus on? Yeah. From there, it went to processors, smartphones, IoT. Now it's AI. Tomorrow, it will be something else, right? So you always need to be connected, and that's where be in touch and with the community. And Maven offers a very good platform to be in touch with the community.
Okay. Very quickly, see, maybe Harsha, to you very quickly. So there are conferences like Semicon 2025, which happened in Gujarat, and then there was DVCon 2025, which happened just earlier this month in Bengaluru. So where they showcased AI, advanced packaging, various verification methodologies, kind of which are reshaping, I would say, the semiconductor industry. From your perspective, for an engineer, how important is to be participating in such conferences? How important is it for them to maybe like submit some papers, try to get some presentations or posters? What's your take on this from your busy schedule, obviously?
So, definitely we have to attend the events so that we can gain very good knowledge. And we want to display our presentation over there so that we can come to know like pros and cons. So, and training is also like must important for everyone. So whenever we undergoes like few trainings or few conferences, not only we can gain like some good knowledge in presenting like some good papers. So my personally like earlier I didn't present a single paper. So after attending few conferences, then I come to know what is innovation,
right?
What is like new trending technologies is going on in the industry. Then I slowly started myself in putting on the paper what is right and what is wrong. And then I started like presenting my own papers. And then I was into like few snug events and few other events as well.
Right. So in the interest, because of the time, you guys can also see it's already time up. So I'll do this lightning quick round. Okay, you're supposed to answer in maybe like 1 or 2 words only. Just maybe one question each. So maybe starting with you, Achut. One habit from Maven that you still practice even today?
Yeah, focusing anything to the deep.
You
deep
go,
level.
You go deep.
Yeah.
Okay. Harsha, to you, one thing you have unlearned to grow into leadership?
So, unlearn in the sense, so I personally...
Unless you were perfect.
No. I personally learned from Maven is like what not to do. So, everyone will tell like what to do, but personally I learned from Maven is like what not to do. So, that helps me a lot in growing in my life.
Last question to you. One failure in your career of 15 years that you think would have accelerated your career growth? One failure.
Could have?
I mean, that has accelerated your, that has helped your career, I would say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's always the decision whether schedule versus quality. So sometimes on certain projects, you think you go for quality and then you get to know you missed the schedule and you lost the customer. So it's always...
So you lost your customer and...
Yeah, the learning is always go by what the business demands. So sometimes it's better to get into the customer and then say, hey, I have a follow-on coming 3 months. I'll give better quality.
I think that's a very good point, because you may see multiple opportunities. You don't have to chase every opportunity. You have to chase the one which has the highest impact. So with that, probably we'll wrap up this point here. But I would like to open maybe a few minutes here if you folks are okay for 5 minutes with the audience questions. Anyone has any questions to the panelists? I see one hand up. If someone could hand over the mic, or if you could come a few steps and grab the mic.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. Good evening to all the panel members. My question is, uh, other than this design verification part and PD, India is growing with the fabrication of the chips and all. I want to know the job, like what are the jobs for the fabrication parts? Like I want to get the knowledge about that also. We are here, we are now with the design verification and PD, we are providing the services as they are saying the government and all. Upcoming 2013, the VLSI is booming. As the for fabrication units are increasing, for fabrication part like clean room technologies and all like proper, what are the fabrication job roles and how we can go through that. For that knowledge we need.
So
I guess this was one question we wanted to discuss, but we are not discussing. But go ahead, Harsha.
you are asking in perspective of a fresher or a experienced?
So both. As I found now, I'm both I know.
See, if you are entering into the industry, so you need like basics is very important as well as luck. Okay, first thing. If you are experienced, that's true, yeah. Everyone should agree. Okay, and second thing, if you are like experienced, then moving inside the industry is not that tough. So you have to be knowing each and everything in the sense, you have to be knowing each and every domain. Then only you can call as a perfect engineer. Okay, so if you are like at least 5 to 10%, if you are learning in all the domains, then it will be easy for you to switch the domain. And as well as you have to, instead of working for 12 hours, you have to work for 16 to 18 hours to survive in that industry after a couple of years of experience. Then only it will work out.
You are saying that the both are different industry, as you're saying, like the service providing and a fabrication. Like after getting the experience in this domain, like if I am a PD engineer, considering as a PD engineer, if I getting experience of 10 plus years, then am I able to directly switch to the fabrication part, or there is any barriers like
Fabrication is like nothing special than PD or some other domains.
like
So if you
Actually,
are going through
I think
everything,
just to answer that question, I want to break that there because your master's was in backend. You did a Maven course to learn about it, and you went back. Achut, you were in electrical domain. You worked there, and then you came back. So I think its transition is possible. It's a commitment that it would take to transition. The roles are there. Some people have changed from leadership to manager roles. Some people have changed from manager to leadership. Some people have changed functions. So I think the main thing was fundamentals. As long as your fundamentals is good, you are open for continuous learning. I guess it's possible. Anything is possible. Again, quotes. And then he already said 18 hours. So count your hours. How many hours you are working. So with that, probably we'll stop here. Thanks so much.
thank you so much.
Thanks so much, panelists. But I just want to closing remarks, which I probably already did. I guess what we have learned is to develop this AI products. I don't think something new is coming apart from the generative AI and the agentic AI. It's all about your core fundamentals being extremely strong, being open to collaborate, being open to learn, being open to unlearn. I guess that's what it will take for us to be successful. And I guess training institutes like Maven will provide launchpads. They have provided us launchpads. Folks have been successful, and people who have now enrolled into Maven or will enroll into Maven, probably this will be your next opportunity. I guess with that, we'll stop. And thanks so much, everyone, for joining us today. Thanks, everyone, on the audience side as well.
Thank you.